I thought you'd like it. It's very capitalist.
No, I do like it. Yeah, I'm not. Thank you. But I mean, we've been through this, Will. Not a capitalist. It's just unfortunately the way the world works.
What's that movie? Is it ahead? Don't ask her like she'll say, I haven't seen it.
Welcome to the Haven't Seen It podcast. This is a podcast where we bring people on the show and we get them really drunk and they tell me about a movie that I've never seen before. I'm Alenka Zach.
And I'm Will.
And I'm Hilary.
Oh, shit!
Yeah.
And she's Hilary!
Let's just get right into it.
I know. I fucking love when we get right into it because I hate talking to Will. Like, it's the worst. I want to talk to the guests.
I know. I'm just the fucking worst. Oh my God.
Okay, Will, calm down. I see what you're doing.
I just couldn't wait.
I'm crying. You see, I'm crying.
Sure.
Crying, which is in our next movie. But you heard her. We have the wonderful, hilarious actress, singer, songwriter, musician, comedy person, creator of Cackle Comedy Productions, Hilary June Hart.
Hello.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Well,
Thank
welcome
you
to the
for
show.
Coming on. I am over the moon for this one. I'm so nervous. I know it's about sports.
Why are you
I just
excited?
can't.
Why are you excited for this?
Okay, so I say excited and I'm mostly nervous.
Well,
I get
I'll
just
be honest.
very
I'm not a
flustered.
big sports person.
No?
I'm not a huge sports person either, actually. So it's kind of funny. This is one of my favorite movies. But I like to play sports, but I don't like watching sports. But this movie's, about highlights, not like the actual sport. And it's about the behind the scenes of the sport, I would say.
What the
more
heck
so.
is a highlight?
Yeah.
Like the save, or in baseball, like the home run,
This
Sure,
movie is
yeah.
the anti-Moneyball.
I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that means.
Exactly. But what movie are we talking about, Hilary? There's no crying allowed in it.
We are talking about A League of Their Own.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
1993, I believe.
Or
Or
92?
two.
Yeah, 92, I think.
92, starring
Pioneer.
Gina Davis and Tom Hanks.
Wait,
Yes.
shut the fuck up. Gina Davis is in this movie?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
What?
One of her most famous films.
Exactly.
Okay,
Along
yeah.
with, I would say, like Thelma and Louise, Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why did you pick this movie, Hilary?
Well, I'd say this is one of those movies that's super nostalgic for me, because it's one of those movies I saw as a kid. I don't know how many times I saw it. It's not like I didn't see it like several times, but there's a lot of very memorable moments from it that are stuck in my memory. And it's a funny film, but it's also a very like heartwarming film, and it's also a very like feminist film. It's about women kind of standing up for themselves and taking a stand and playing baseball when women were not supposed to ever play sports. I mean, it's set in the 40s.
Oh, okay,
Women did
good.
not
I
play
was
the
like,
sports
hold
ball
on a
in the
second.
40s.
Was this still taking place in the
back
90s?
in the day.
Back in the 90s, women were not allowed to play sports.
I mean, you could argue that in the 90s, there still really wasn't a big market for women's sports, but it's much bigger nowadays.
Yes.
Thank God it's only
Then,
2021.
certainly in the 40s. Yeah.
It's only been 60 years.
Yeah. It's funny that you said it's nostalgic, because it is for me too. I don't know like how many times I watched it, but I watched a lot as a kid too. I think it was one of those movies that was always on TBS,
Probably,
Just
yeah.
rerun on like one of those TV channels, and they would just play it with commercials.
It's like,
Did you guys watch
it's like a
YTV?
family-friendly movie. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
YTV.
Was it on
for
there?
sure.
No. Come on. I don't know. I
It
missed
wasn't really
it.
I don't think it was the market for
Are You Afraid of the Dark was
Hell
on my
yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was my
Watch
jam.
that.
Uh-oh.
What's this? Uh-oh.
Well, this isn't really about YTV. Uh-oh.
Oh, right.
From
No, you know.
YTV.
Yeah. You
Green
guys, I know. I
slime,
get
all
it.
that jazz, you know.
Such
Yeah.
a weird show, though. Also, like, so
Nickelodeon.
disturbing. I don't know. I think it'd just be terrifying. Like, that slime guy literally looked like Bane from Batman.
They probably copied that.
True.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Traumatizing.
Well, speaking of copying exactly, Alenka,
Yeah.
what do you think this movie's about?
I mean, okay. So, had you not said the "We Don't Cry" or something like that, I probably would have not pegged together that Tommy Hanks was in this filmaroni. But and you dropped a little nugget here and there. So it's okay. First ever girls baseball team, obviously. And nobody wants to do it. Or maybe, Tom Hanks does want to do it because he's like, I think they could be good. But he's like, but I'm just so sick of these girls, like, having their periods and stuff. Like, I need to teach them the man way of playing baseball. So he takes it on reluctantly, but also slightly excitedly. And, he gives them some tough love. And at the end, he marries Gina Davis and they have a baseball team that made it. They made it to nationals and they sang Don't Stop Believing. And then they won. And I'm pretty sure that's what happens.
That's great.
Yeah, that's semi-accurate.
Yeah, actually, some parts are, but some parts are very wrong. Yeah.
And you got the actors right, which we did give you.
Good.
So
No, yeah. That's not fair.
Yeah. It's some things are just the exact opposite of what actually happens. But
Especially the part about him really wanting to be there.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I would say Tom Hanks, this was, I think, my first time probably ever seeing Tom Hanks when I was a kid. And I just thought he was a jerk because his character is such a jerk in this. Yeah. And, every interview I've ever seen of Tom Hanks since, I go, oh, he's actually a really nice person. And he plays a lot of really fun and sweet characters, throughout history, but, the history of his film career. But, oh my gosh.
Like if you just watch this movie and You've Got Mail, you'd be like, I hate this fucking Tom Hanks.
Really?
You've Got Mail.
I haven't seen either. Yeah. But I'm interested to see Tom in this new light.
Oh, yeah. Tommy H.
Tommy H. Yeah. Oh, nice.
Well, does anyone want to hear about this drink that I realize is disgusting now?
But, no, I knew it was disgusting when I read it, but go ahead, Will.
I thought it would work.
Why do you think Hilary's not drinking it?
I didn't even try.
That's true. I'm the only one who drinks my drinks, but the drinks are for me and no one else.
It's true.
Well, the drink today is I call the high fastball, and we'll find out why pretty early on in the movie, actually. And it is orange juice with peach schnapps, a little bit of bourbon.
That's a good part.
And then you top that with some Cracker Jacks. So
or you don't.
Caramel popcorn.
That's the worst part.
I thought the caramel would infuse, but yeah, it is just a soggy mess of orange
popcorn
juice.
Did you think was going to be a good idea?
I thought maybe it would give it some texture, but it just gives it not that.
It's not the right texture.
Instead.
It gives it texture, just not the right texture.
I can't even taste the caramel, so just to have the Cracker Jacks on the side, maybe just do that, audience. If you're trying this,
just
please.
snack on it. Yeah, don't do what Will did ever.
No, please don't. Well, that's the drink. None of
That's
you are
kinda-
drinking it except for me. Hillary.
No, I'm drinking something else.
It's your
Yes.
Yes.
I'm drinking a blackberry sour beer
That's
from
much better.
Yeah, it's from Left Field Brewery. And I'm
maybe we'll get them to
left-handed.
sponsor us.
Stop.
Mm.
That's fantastic. So in your sports playing days, were you doing the left-handed, I don't know. I never played
Yes.
sports, obviously.
Actually, well, I didn't play baseball like with a league or anything, but I played in like school in phys ed. And I remember
You had a league of your own.
Stop.
yes, it was a league of my own at recess time. And I used to play with, the glove on my left hand, but then I would rip the glove off and throw with my left hand as well. I was like overly left-handed.
Oh, you were one of those kids.
Yeah, one of those kids who's just like slowing down the game.
Yeah. Takes up way more time than
But
necessary.
I gotta get the glove off. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I just remember playing baseball as a kid and missing an outfield fly ball and waking up in the back of a van like several minutes later because I got knocked out.
Oh, so scary.
man.
Such a tough time. The only sport I ever
That's
played because
terrifying.
my parents are European was soccer. And I specifically remember being pretty good at goalie, but I only caught the ball with my feet. And then one time the coach was like, "Hey, Alenka, want to try using your hands to catch the ball? Like you can do that as a goalie." And I was like, yeah. And then I went for it with my face and it hit me in the face and I got a black eye. So I quit soccer.
Oh, brutal. Did your family call it football? Like
My dad,
European
super
people do?
foreign. Yeah.
Yeah.
Football.
Most of the world, I would say, call it.
Yeah,
football.
true.
We're the weirdos in North America.
We suck.
Yeah.
Well, we're not talking about football. We're talking about baseball.
Baseball, baby.
So Hillary,
Yeah.
how does this movie start?
So this movie starts with Gina Davis's character, but it's an old version of her. And so like her character's name is Dottie, and she's like getting ready to go to this like baseball Hall of Fame event for obviously for her baseball team, but we don't know that yet. Yeah.
I nearly like shit my pants when I looked at the cast list and found out this was not an older Gina Davis, like
That's
an age
exactly
Gina Davis.
what I thought too.
Wait,
because it
what?
looks like Gina Davis. The actress looks like Gina Davis with just makeup on, like aging makeup.
Yeah,
But it's
always
not.
thought that.
It's like somebody.
Her name's Anne
Cartwright.
Cartwright. Yeah,
Cartwright. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she looks
Wow.
just like her.
just dead ringer. In fact, the casting of the older versions, and we'll get to that near the end of the movie, are just spot on for so many of them.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So yeah, you get to see a little bit about this character Dottie at the beginning. Like you see her interact with her like grandkids and stuff. But then you find out she goes back in time in her mind, sort of thing, and it's a flashback to her on the farm, and she used to play baseball with her sister.
Cute.
It's a very like sisterly movie.
Yeah, her kid sister Kit.
Her kid sister.
Oh
Kit.
no, I
Yeah.
think I just realized that Gina Davis is supposed to be a young girl and Tom Hanks and her definitely don't get married.
She's a grown woman. She's actually married already, though.
Mhm.
And you
okay.
find that out right away that she's already married.
Yeah. Well, you get you kind of before we kind of see young Dottie, we get kind of the great exposition of what this movie's about, which is old film reels. It's World War II, and all the men have to leave, and all the women have to go to work, and then it kind of basically they make up this character named Walter Harvey, who owns Harvey's chocolate bars, and it's supposed to be a play on the gum guy. What's the guy? Wrigley.
What?
It's supposed to be a play on
Okay.
the guy who made Wrigley's gum, who creates a female baseball league to replace the men while they're gone, so that baseball can still go on.
Okay.
Yeah. And you get all this kind of exposition, and this is kind of brings us to
men
Dottie
are
playing
busy.
baseball. Yeah.
Men are busy. doing important things at the war. The women, they need to get busy.
They were over there
Women.
dying in the war.
Yes. Yeah. But also the women were busy back home, like keeping everything running.
Mhm.
But they also had to keep the baseball games going too.
Because baseball's so important. It helped America.
It's so
through
important.
all
It
of
is.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm. Hey,
Yeah.
morale at home is just as important as morale on the battlefield.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So back to the dairy farm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, there's like Kit and Gina's character Dottie. And Dottie's like obviously very good at baseball. Like everyone just like, whoa, cheering for her all the time. And there's a guy there kind of scouting them out. And it's a guy named Ernie, I think. And it's played by John Lovitz.
Oh my God.
Who
I love him.
So
Googling.
you might recognize his voice. Yeah, you would recognize his voice and probably his face too if you saw him. He's hilarious, and I probably hated him as a kid, but now I just think he's so funny. Anything he says. Oh my gosh.
He pretty much plays the same character in every movie, but like it's great. He's just, it's almost like he's not even from the 40s. Like every time I hear him, I'm like he's just being 90s John Lovitz, but wearing a 40s suit.
Oh, right. Okay.
He's
Duh.
also-
Yes. Sorry, the
also
Google
kind of a
images just
jerk.
came up.
Yeah. Yeah. He's also kind of a jerk, like in this movie, by how he talks to the women. Yeah. And he tries to convince Dottie to join this women's baseball league. And she's like, no, I'm too busy on the farm. I'm waiting for my husband to come home from the war. And then her sister is like, but what about me? I would like to go play on the baseball team. And, little Kit.
Yeah. And earlier we saw at the game that he was scouting. Kit just missed the ball the whole time. But that's because the pitcher was throwing high fastballs and Kit can't hit those.
And
Dottie's like, don't chase those high fastballs. High fastballs.
They're really fat too.
They're
like,
high and fat. You just
on
can't
the dairy
have those.
farm, you only have really fat balls on the dairy farm.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand.
But they have like a competitive sisterly relationship.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's established from the get-go. Yeah.
Kit has a chip on her shoulder.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
So Kit is like, I want to play in this big league. Like this sounds like my dream. Like I could get out of here and I'd make some money doing it. And so she goes back to the John Lovitz character, Ernie, and is like, take me. And he's like, no, you suck. He's just like,
wait, how old are they roughly?
I'm a pitcher.
Like 18 to 20, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe
like
16.
Dottie is maybe in her like 19 to
Early
25
20?
age, but Kit is definitely supposed to be like 16 to 18. Sort of thing.
Perfect.
Yeah, they're not like children. They're women, but young women.
Yeah, ladies.
Yeah. And but Kit's like, I'm a pitcher. You didn't see me pitch. I can pitch really well. And then he's like, no, I'm John Lovitz. And then, but then he like, I'm sorry, kid. And then he grabs her arm and then he like starts feeling it. And he's like, strong. Like,
That's so
you're muscular.
weird.
Yeah.
Oh, I can feel some muscles. Really, it's just the muscle she grew from like pulling the calves.
milking the
Just from
cows.
farm work. Which is very laborious work.
Pulling the calves out of the exactly. Anyway, so then he's like, you can only join the team if you convince your sister to join too.
Wow.
And Dottie's like, well, I don't want to go. Yeah. And so Kit convinces Gina's character to go, and then they take off.
Yeah, they have to catch the train the next day because they're going to, I believe it's
They go to like Colorado first, I think, to pick up another player. And then where do they end up? Like Chicago or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's I'm trying to figure it out. They end up Harvey Field, which is I'm guessing where Wrigley Field
I think
is supposed
it's in
to be.
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
or the big tryouts. But yeah, on the way, like they hop the train, and on the way they have to stop to pick up another player that he's scouting.
Oh yeah, I remember they literally
Okay.
had to like jump on the train. Like they were missing the train. That's a big scene where like Gina runs so fast because she's already like pro athlete.
She's all legs. Gina
oh my
Davis.
gosh, she's so tall.
Can I also say
and
right
she, like,
now, Hilary, you kind of look like Gina Davis.
Oh my god, thank you. I've been told
I
that
don't know,
before,
like,
and
absolutely.
I always find that so flattering. I think it's just because of our jawlines. You know, we got like
I don't know. It
intense
seems
jaws.
to me like eyebrows
And then our
down,
nose.
all of it.
Oh,
have
thank
you like dressed up as Dottie or no?
Yes.
Well, like I did a photo
like similar?
shoot. I did like a photo shoot once upon a time where I was like wearing a skirt and a baseball bat. You know, it wasn't a proper League of Their Own wardrobe, but it was like I was pretending to be Gina
was
Davis in a
homage.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like
Anyway,
to be
continue.
her character from Beetlejuice. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they chase down the train.
Yeah.
And they get on with John Lovitz being John Lovitz. He's actually sitting there talking to
funny.
some salesman, and the salesman is all like, oh yeah, I've got sales are through the roof, and then he's just sitting there like, if I had your job, I would shoot myself.
I remember
Oh my
that now.
gosh.
Oh my gosh.
What?
He's just so silly. Yeah.
Just does not give a shit about anybody else.
No, he doesn't, and he insults people right to their face constantly.
Amazing.
Yeah, including the next new character. So they go to this like school. It's like a gymnasium or something,
It's
and
like raining outside, so they're doing this baseball practice in a gym.
In a gymnasium,
Okay.
and this woman's hitting the balls, and they're like smashing all the windows because she's so
Oh my
good. There,
God.
she's so strong.
Mhm.
And he looks at her and he's like, "Oh, too ugly. No."
What?
You know, it's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
And
Come
and
on.
Dottie-
He explains to Kit and Dottie earlier on, like he explains to Kit, he's like, we're looking for, dollies, which you are,
Ew.
Yeah.
like attractive
I
women
know,
to
it's
be in
really
the league.
gross.
So they immediately just like during this
Hate
scene, they
'em.
immediately drop their stuff and they're like, we're not going without her
Yeah.
because
yeah,
she's
we're not
amazing.
going because she's amazing and you're a jerk,
Yeah.
and
Her name's
yeah.
Marla. And the scene is basically, you don't really see what she looks like until she walks up. She doesn't look like, the woman is like
She's
a normal
fine.
woman,
She's-
but
yeah.
they just like
She's
straighten
fine.
her hair and kind of grease it up.
You
And then
know.
the way
Okay.
they film her makes her eyes look giant. So she like looks up at him and she has like these
I
really
really
big
enjoyed her
eyes.
performance in
Yeah,
the
it's,
movie.
it's great. She's hilarious.
Everything she does is very heightened, and it's very theatrical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loves.
Probably why I like this movie now that I think about it. Every character is so over the top.
Yeah, it's very 90s with its like, every scene had transition music, and there's wipe transitions in this movie, which is like, it's not Star Wars, but I don't care. I like the wipe transitions.
Yeah. It's so silly.
Might
Yeah.
have to watch it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, yeah. So then, like, you get to meet all these characters. Like, they go to the big baseball field, Harvey Field, and there's all these women trying out. And you eventually meet, like, the star cast, which get picked. And they have to do all these, like, crazy drills and stuff, of course.
Yeah. You do meet another two big characters.
Oh, yeah. Pretty
and-
early on.
Yeah. So the minute they come on, you get introduced to Rosie O'Donnell,
Yes.
who is balancing like a bat on her hand, and these next two characters
Yes.
are kind of like they're almost like the stock like
Yes.
New Jersey, New York
Oh,
henchman characters you might find. Like
Yeah.
they're kind of like oh hey see yeah like
And, yeah, and Rosie's best buddy is Madonna.
Stop.
Yeah.
Come on.
Madonna is
Come
on.
in this movie
No
as
way.
a baseball player.
I'm
oh yeah,
gonna
she started
shit
a few
myself.
movies in the late 90s, late 80s, early 90s.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Evita and
Mhm.
Dick Tracy. Yeah, she's actually a pretty good actor.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
great in this.
Mhm.
And they're like best buds, but yeah, they're kind of play off each
Cute.
other. Like
Yeah.
Rosie's supposed to be, as if it were a man playing that role, they kind of like the the big, dumb, bumbling kind of character, even though she's not. But that's kind of the archetypes they're playing, but like in reverse, because you never really saw these archetypes with women generally. You see them, you would see them with men a lot, with like this kind of New York accent, like wise guys.
Yeah, I mean they're the tough girls too, and Rosie's very much like I'm strong, tough. You know, nothing can make me cry, kind of thing.
Just like Rosie
Whereas,
O'Donnell.
Madonna's, and Madonna's like just really flirty. Like she's just like, I want to get laid like all the time. Like that character, she's just really horny all the time.
Yeah,
perfect.
Basically. But she's stuck with all these women, so, and she's very straight.
She's upsetty spaghetti.
Yeah. Even if she wasn't, it was the 40s. They probably
exactly wouldn't allow for love.
She can barely play sports at this point, so she's just taking what she can.
Yeah. So they do all these tryouts, and it's kind of a montage of tryouts, but it's overlaid with like a radio broadcast from these 3 old like ladies, like dressed in like the very classic 40s like womanly outfits, like reading in this radio broadcast, like it's the masculinization of women, like this is abhorrent, you know, women's baseball, like when the men come home, what are they going to be coming back to?
Yeah, so silly. And that's a big part of the film, is they kind of heighten the amount of you know, sexualizing the women with, you know, their outfits and everything. Like they make a big deal over that. It's like, well, you have to wear these short skirts and stuff, but then you also have to sit like a lady and walk like a lady and dance like a lady and all that sort of thing. Like they have to go through like almost like a finishing school montage.
To play baseball.
At the end of the tryouts, they get exactly. They get put on their teams, and there's really only 2 teams you need to like know about. But the main team with Dottie, Kit, Madonna, Rosie, and Marla, and all the other characters we're introduced to is the Rockford Peaches.
Yes,
that's their team
Rockford
name.
Peaches. Yeah.
And the other team that you kind of know a bit about is the Racine Bells.
The Bells, right?
Yeah. That's the only other team that you really know about.
This is like they're going to compete against each other, yeah?
Like these teams, yes. They play they end up going on a tour throughout pretty much America.
Basically, it's just like the MLB. They just like they play against each other, and then at the end there's
Why
kind
would
of
you
like
talk
a World
as if
Series
I know what the
of the
fuck
women's
the
baseball.
MLB is?
I mean, okay. I mean, and then it's the NHL playoffs. It's the football Super Bowl. It's everything. It's sports.
I didn't know they traveled together.
Yeah. It's okay. Then I don't know what. Then they're like a touring musical company.
That
they travel together and they perform
every night. Every night they're like, we're going to be in that theater across the street, and you're going to be in the other one, and we'll see who gets more people in the seats. Cute.
Nice.
I think that kind of is how it works sometimes, but
yeah.
Okay.
So the girls are all introduced to their coach eventually.
Oh, yeah.
And this coach walks into the change room, and all the girls are just all ready to go and so excited to meet him. And he walks straight to the urinal, and he just starts peeing in front of all of them.
Austin Powers style, just like for 5 minutes.
And you see his face go, oh, and it's Tom Hanks. It's Tom Hanks peeing, and he's drunk, and he doesn't want to be there. Yeah.
And basically Tom Hanks plays their coach, who he's a former MLB player, Jimmy Dugan, not a real person, really, amalgamation of other people apparently, but he's a former MLB player who's like an alcoholic essentially. And he's getting this job from Walter Harvey, who owned the team he previously played for. And he's basically given this job as a favor because he's a fuck up. And all he has to do is just stand outside the dugout, wave his cap, and do nothing because he's a name still. So, you know, all he needs to do is use his fame to like make the girls' baseball.
So they really don't care.
Exciting.
They don't care at all if like the girls can play. They kind of, to start at least, just want people to show up. Because it's the coach. He has to coach them.
Well, he doesn't care, but
No.
but like in order for them to try out, they have to be able to play baseball. But then once he comes on board, he doesn't really coach them very well, and
Right.
that's why Gina Davis's character kind of takes over. Like she's just like, okay, well, this deadbeat over here is just sleeping on the bench, so I'll make up, you know, the order of things and of who's going with the batting order and all that kind of baseball-y stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
and she's a very good leader, and all the women kind of like look up to her because she's actually really good. Like, there's a little scene with Rosie and Madonna where they kind of don't like her at first, and they kind of, you know, are kind of mean to her and Kit, and then they
do
see
this. Yeah, when they walk in the trials, they do this thing where they're like, Dottie, I think, accidentally bumps into Rosie or something, and then they kind of mouth off, and then Rosie throws like the baseball at Kit, and Kit ducks, but then Dottie just catches it with her bare hand.
She catches
like,
it really quickly, you know, like
Ew, I need to watch this.
Superhero reflexes.
Yeah. It's so cute. I
Yeah.
like it.
It's a great movie.
There's some really great highlight moments like that where it's just like, oh, that's memorable it's stuck in there for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I always remember this scene from when Tom Hanks walks in the clubhouse and pees. Before
Right.
he walks in, the two of the players, like one's like, oh, you know, I have my husband's Jimmy Dugan baseball card. He loves him. Like, maybe he'll sign it. And they're oh yeah. He's like, oh, if I lose this card, he'll kill me. And then Jimmy Dugan walks in, pees, and as he's walking out, she's like, Mr. Dugan, could you maybe sign the card? And he grabs the card, just rips it up, and throws it in the garbage.
Yeah.
Why is he such an ass?
He's such a jerk.
Do we get a little taste of this at all as to why he's such a fucking ass?
Well, when we were actually first introduced to him at Walter Harvey's mansion when they're talking about it, and he is kind of an asshole right off the bat. He's a little bit like, I'm a drunk. Oh, I don't drink anymore.
No.
No, you don't really get to see his life history or anything. No,
he got injured at one point. He couldn't play baseball anymore, and he became an alcoholic. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, sadly, that probably happens to a fair few athletes.
Oh yeah,
That's
tons of
upsetting.
Yeah. He's very abrasive and yeah, and he doesn't care. He doesn't like that he has to coach women, and that's very evident right off the bat. He's just like, what am I doing? It's just like I'm coaching a bunch of dogs or something.
He's always like these aren't ball players; they're girls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they end up like, you know, going off on the road and playing, and they're doing okay, but they're not like picking up a lot of steam at the beginning, I would say.
Yeah, and it's like it's not like necessarily like they're not winning; they win and lose. It's the fact that the league isn't really drawing a crowd anymore. Like no one's coming to watch the games.
Okay. Yeah, it's not making a big, you know. Yeah. Hurrah in the news. I mean,
most of the crowd are just men like catcalling the women the whole time.
Yeah.
So
there's a good scene where there's like a jerkwad standing up tall, like just harassing the women, and then one of the women just chucks the ball right at him and knocks him out.
Amazing.
It's great. Yeah.
And this is all to the lament of Mr. Lowenstein. That's another character played by David Strathairn, who he's kind of the manager of the whole league. Like he's been tasked by Walter Harvey to like make sure, you know, the league is a success. So he's all about trying to get butts into seats. He kind of like, he's a good, in the most part, he's a really good character for the most part, you know, like he's never like an asshole.
Yeah.
Other than when he talks about that they have to wear the skirted costumes and they're all like, we can't slide in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I just remember another part. When they announced they also announced, Mr. Lowenstein says, there's no alcohol and no men allowed, like during the tour. And Madonna like immediately gets up, like she's gonna leave, and Rosie like
she's
pulls
just
her
like,
down.
I'm not staying here, you know, they can't hold me back, you know.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Which
funny.
is another example of her thirstiness. So
Right.
Yeah. Now, I don't know like the order of all these things of how they happen, but there's like a lot of things that happen on the road and that happen like on the field, etc. A lot of like little memorable moments, I would say. one of the memorable moments on the road is that they have this like lady who's chaperoning them.
Cute.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, this cute little like school marmy lady. But she's very strict with them, sort of thing. And Madonna's character decides, oh, I'm going to poison her so that she gets sick. And I know, so mean. And then we can sneak out and go dancing.
What a sick animal.
Yeah.
What?
I know. So they poison this lady. I mean, she doesn't die, but she gets very sick.
Oh yeah, she throws up a lot.
Yeah. Poor lady. And I know. And then they go out to this like dance hall and
That's so funny.
they're dancing with all these men and flirting
Oh, yeah.
away. And even
It's
young,
a real like,
Yeah.
let's feature Madonna in this scene because there's a whole dance sequence
Cool.
of
Oh my
Madonna
gosh.
swing dancing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Rosie's character is like, oh yeah, like back home, she's like the top dancer at my daddy's bar, and I'm the one of the
Cute.
bouncers.
That's
like Rosie's character is a bouncer. Yeah,
I'm a bouncer. It's
Yeah.
very
Yeah. I'm a bouncer.
I love
Yeah.
that.
And then they like all have a good time, and then Dottie shows up like later, but she takes like a taxi cab with like a 12-year-old. There's like a 12-year-old taxi cab driver who hits on her, and I guess it's because all the men are gone to war. So,
Oh yeah, I remember
So they
that.
so
have
the
this
taxi
little
cab drivers
boy.
are 12-year-old boys. Yeah,
Driving the car. Yeah.
yeah. He's
the
like,
fort.
how about you stick around and you make me a man? Like, that's what he says.
Yeah,
It's
he
like,
says that to her. Yeah, and she's just like, "No, kid, you know."
You ain't ready.
yeah. But she walks in and Marla is up there
Oh yeah,
hammered, and
Yes.
she is pulling a Sam. This is my partner. She's
Yes.
singing "It Had to Be You," so hammered.
Cute.
If
It
our
had
audience
to
will remember
be
episode 2,
you.
when Harry met Sally, my partner Sam was
She got a little
hammered singing "It Had to Be You" at the end of the episode.
It's adorable.
And
Yeah.
she's singing it to a very specific man in the bar.
yes,
Oh, yeah?
and this man is in love with her.
Mhm.
He's this cute little nerdy man with glasses, I think, and he's like just enamored by her, and
Mhm.
and she's like, "It had to be you."
And she's like pointing at him,
Yeah.
Oh my
eyes
God,
wide.
amazing.
You know?
And Gina's character Dottie like has to pull her off the stage, just like, we gotta go. Yeah, that's fun.
So that's kind of fun moments. Another character we're introduced to is so Evelyn, who's on the team. She's this sweet lady. She asked Jimmy if she can take her son with them on tour because her father is just like, her husband is just like, I can't take care of him. You gotta bring him with
Yeah.
you. And we're introduced to Stillwell, who's this little kid who is just an absolute
Cute.
It's a
nightmare.
little
Oh,
Dennis the
okay.
Menace, like nightmare kid. Yeah. And he runs around screaming and like
Nice.
always has chocolate all over his face and like constantly like whacking everybody. And he's just a little brat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ew.
And he's on the tour buses and he's on the baseball field. Like he's just everywhere. Yeah. He drives Tom Hanks' character crazy, I would
Oh,
say,
good.
too.
Something
Yeah.
to balance him out.
He's just
Give
like
it back to
ruining
him.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the kind of the next big moment is now we get a bit of like Jimmy starting to care a bit. So
Mhm.
they're
Okay.
playing Racine again. That's the only other team that you should care about,
Right.
really. And Jimmy is he's doing the same thing he always does, which is like reading the newspaper or falling asleep and scratching his balls the whole time.
Mhm.
And so
Chewing
basically,
tobacco.
yeah, chewing tobacco.
Ew.
And so Dottie is
Worst.
basically just like running the team, and
Yeah.
Marla's up to bat, and she's like doing the baseball signal thing, touching the shoulders and tipping the cap and stuff. If you know what that is, have
Sure.
you ever seen that before?
I've made up
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah. I thought
Yeah,
those
yeah,
also
yeah.
spy gestures, but I
Yeah.
guess not.
Yeah, she's doing that, like indicating that
Gina's
Marla should
character.
hit it
Yeah.
somewhere in the field. I don't know. Jimmy
Okay.
notices this and is like, I guess, disagreeing with the strategy. So they're basically having a baseball fucking
Yeah.
touch
That's
off where they're
cute.
touching their shoulders and tipping their cap
It's
back and
really
forth.
a cute moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so silly. Mhm. Yeah, but it's kind of a fun one because it's kind of the establishing of power because she's kind of been in control of everything, and now he's all of a sudden cares for a moment, and so it's just like, and meanwhile Marla is like stepping forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards over the plate, like I don't know where should I go. And it's a very physical comedy moment. Yeah,
so cute.
Yeah.
Is there like a reason as to why like he's starting to care now?
Well,
or he's
I
just
would
kind of
say that
noticing.
newspapers start showing up and stuff.
Yeah,
then-
like there is a bit of like montage of how they're, you know, the people are getting more excited about the baseball because it all starts with like, because Lowenstein is like, you know, it needs to get more exciting. Like they're going to shut down the league if we don't, you know, get butts in the seats. So Dottie decides to like do the splits while she's a catcher, by the way. She's the catcher. So she does the splits while catching a ball that's very easy to catch. She just does the splits while she does it. So then
there's
the
like a
newspapers,
photographer from like Life magazine there and catches a picture of it and it's on the front page of the news and sort of thing. Yeah. And she goes back to the bench and Tom Hanks's character is like, what was that? And she's just like, well, I just wanted to entertain them and somebody's got to bring in the crowds. So.
Yeah.
Now,
so then it's kind of like a newsreel of all of them having fun.
Is that from an actual newsreel at all? Do we know? That sounds, it honestly might just be from the movie and I'm that like dumb, but like
it's probably like obviously like this is a true story, but not like the
I don't know if that moment is true. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that the moment is true.
It's like in Mighty Ducks when like, you know, they do like a triple axel in the middle before they score a goal. Yeah. Wait, you've seen Mighty Ducks, right?
No, I don't know.
Oh, we got to do that one too. Flying V. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So, you know, the interest is picking up. People are in their seats. Everyone's enjoying, and they're all really talented and great baseball players. So everyone's getting into it. And I think that's why, like, Jimmy starts to notice actually how he's getting a little bit more impressed by how good, you know, these girls are. They're not ball players yet. They're still girls, but they're okay.
Yeah.
You did good.
And for the most part, Kit is a pretty good pitcher, but she wears out quickly. Okay. And that causes trouble, I remember.
Yeah, that comes later, but it's always the whole time it is very like, you know, Kit's on the team, but like again, she's overshadowed by her sister because like they do the newsreel where they're introducing all the characters. One of them is like used to be a Miss, I don't know, whatever state, a Miss Arizona,
yeah, like a beauty queen. Yeah. There's also like there's a character named Betty Spaghetti.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if that's based. Yeah, I don't know if that character is based off of a real person or not. Yeah, like, maybe. I don't know.
But when they introduce Kit in this new reels and they're like, and who can forget Kit? Dottie's kid's sister. It's always like she's just the sister.
Yeah.
Oh, it's devastating.
And it's revealed in like a newspaper article as well that the only reason she made the team is because of her sister, and like she gets really mad about that.
Yeah. Fair.
There's also, I just wanted to say, there's also a player on the team from Saskatchewan, Canada.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. And I'm from Saskatchewan, Canada.
Originally, you were in this movie.
Are you related to this person?
Of course I am. It's like my aunt, you know, my great aunt.
There's only like 5 people in Saskatchewan, so
yeah.
That's a fun fact, though. That's nice.
It is a fun fact, yeah. The most famous line in the movie kind of is coming up pretty much next. And in
I know
one
what it is.
game, Evelyn, who is the mother of Stillwell, she's always like not making it to the round-off guy. So in baseball, if you're in the outfield, you want to throw it to, you know, the shortstop or the halfway point person who can then throw it to another person. Okay. And she's always kind of missing that person and trying to throw all the way home, as it's called. Anyway, she keeps doing that. Jimmy is getting upset at her, and he just mad. Screams at her as a coach would scream at their player, usually in regular baseball.
Right.
And then she just starts bawling.
She starts crying. She's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And he's just like, are you crying? Are you crying?
And then Alenka, what does she say? What does he say?
What does he say?
No, there's no crying in baseball.
Yay! That's the famous line.
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
dear.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good moment and it's very silly.
Yeah. It's so funny though, because it happens so quickly that you're like, this is the most famous line in the movie. There's a lot in this movie, and that happens maybe in like 5 seconds, but it's
Right,
somehow
yeah.
ended up being the most famous line.
Totally.
Yeah.
I forget why. I know when I was studying film for like 2 months, they showed us that scene because something was important about it, but I don't remember. So that's probably why, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And then during this portion where Jimmy is, being a better coach, him and Dottie, get closer. They form a friendship.
They become a little bit more friends, like a little more respect for each other. I mean, he just starts to be like, oh, she's really good and I'll kind of respect her. And and they start talking on the bus a lot. And he's like, so what are you going to do after this? You're going to keep playing and blah, blah, blah. And she's just like, oh no, I'm going to, as soon as my husband comes home, we're going to have lots of kids and stuff. And he's just like, what? And then she like shows a picture of her husband and it's Bill Pullman.
Bill Pullman.
What?
Yeah. I think the character's name is Bob. Do you know Bill Pullman?
Mr. Independence Day himself.
And the dad from Casper.
Dad from Casper.
Yeah.
Casper
Those two
dad.
things, basically. I don't remember anything else.
I don't really either, but I like him. Yeah.
He's great. He's there for a very short amount of time, but he's there.
Yeah.
But he's the husband at war.
Yeah.
And so they bond.
Yeah, she just shows a picture of him sort of thing and can't wait for him to come home sort of thing. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
She wants to make babies.
So they're like getting ready. Yeah. She wants to go back to her dairy farm with her husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's always this battle though. Like she's always just like, oh, I don't care about baseball. Like I'm only here because Kit wanted to come. But when Bob comes back, I want to have babies, go back to the farm. But Tom Hanks is always like, no, you don't. You love this game. Like you shouldn't do that. Like
you're like the best player in the league.
Yeah. Like why are you just like resigning yourself to doing that? You could be amazing sort of thing. And it is like, it feels like this battle of like what she feels like she's supposed to do versus what she really wants, but she never really admits until like the very end what she really wants.
Okay.
So they end up like they're doing really well and stuff, and there comes a point in time where Kit is not cutting it, and Gina is just like says straight out to Tom Hanks' character, like, you got to take her out, like she's sucking right now.
Yeah.
And Kit is furious, like she's so mad, and they end up fighting a lot. Dottie and Kit.
They fight in the locker room. I will say, actually, before this, side note, Marla and Herman get married.
Oh yeah.
What?
It's a quick scene.
The guy from the bar and
Come
Marla,
on.
the really big hitter girl, she gets married. Everybody's cheering. It's a really cute wedding.
They like hold baseball bats over top of them. Like the whole team's the bridesmaids. It's really it's fun. And then I always loved it. They drive off, in the Just Married car, and they all throw baseballs at the car, but it's just like smashing against the car. And I'm like, this is kind of funny. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So flash forward. Kit and Dottie like basically have a fight in the locker room. And Dottie's super upset, and Ira Lowenstein, Mr. Lowenstein, comes in, and he's just like, she's just like, I'm leaving. I can't be here. Like, you're right. Kit's right. I'm overshadowing her. Like it's her. Like she's too upset. And he's like, what can I do? And she's like, well, how about we trade you? Like, you just stay in the league. And she's like, all right, trade me, whatever. So she goes back to, they're all staying in this big house while they're on the road. Like, all right. This very specific, like 3-game header or whatever they're in this house that they kind of flash to. But Kit comes back and reveals that Dottie's not been traded. Kit's been traded to Racine. And she's even more fucking upset. Yeah.
Yes, they have a big fight. Yeah, and everybody's just kind of like quiet and like, whoa, sister fight. This is getting vicious. Yeah. Yeah.
So Kit's no longer on the peaches.
Yeah. Then, Then I'd say the next like biggest scene is maybe in the locker room.
Yeah, this is a really horror. This
It's
is
a really
sad
scene.
No.
So like a guy comes with like a message from the war,
scene.
Okay.
and
And he's a fucking jerk, kind of.
he's
just like
he's terrible at his job.
He's like, I don't have a name on here. I'm not like I can't. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, but he's like, I hate doing these. You know. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
but
come
he
and tell you
doesn't-
your husband's dead. He's literally talking to himself the whole time.
Doesn't do it with any
Right.
sensitivity, right? He
Yeah.
can't get his stuff together, and he's like, "Never mind, I'm going to go and sort it out first, and I'll come back. You know,
Oh
when I
my
know for
God.
sure." And blah blah blah. And so Tom Hanks' character, Jimmy, ends up just grabbing it from him and be like, "Here," like
and kicking him out.
Yeah, kicking him out, and he looks at the thing, and then he walks across the room in like slow mo, like
And
it
all
feels
the
like
women
it.
with husbands and are just
Everybody's
like
Yeah.
so scared.
horrified, like so
who is it?
terrified,
Yeah.
and it goes right up to Gina Davis.
Oh,
And then
no.
goes right to the woman right beside her
Oh,
and
no.
says, "I'm so sorry."
It's Betty Spaghetti.
Betty Spaghetti.
Yeah.
Yeah, Betty
No, I
Spaghetti's
bet you she was
husband.
upsetty Betty Spaghetti.
Yeah, I know.
Upsetting Betty Spaghetti.
Oh, man.
Perfect joke for
Yeah.
this scene.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And then, yeah. And so,
it kind of cuts. It's after the game. It cuts to back to the house, and Dottie is like so upset because she thought
Oh,
it could have been
she's-
Bob. It could,
she's
when
just
is Bob coming home?
devastated, and she's crying.
Yeah.
And she's like, he also hasn't been writing to her for a few
Mhm.
weeks.
Oh,
And so she's
no.
really nervous because hasn't heard from him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Oh.
there's a knock on the door, and the camera starts with the man's feet, and you see
No.
this like broken foot in like all
Bandaged.
wrapped up,
Yeah.
bandage, and like a cane.
Okay.
And then the camera scrolls up, and he's like, "Dottie,"
No.
you know, and she looks up, and
Yeah.
it's her husband,
Come on.
Yeah.
and she runs to him, and they
I think he does.
hug.
I think he does a cooler
What?
line like "Hey, beautiful," like something like
Yeah,
that.
he says something like, "You're just as beautiful as the day I met you," something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Cute.
Because he's like, "Wow, you're still so beautiful." Yeah. It's a really
Mhm.
cute moment.
Yeah.
So he
And
comes to their
they're
house?
hugging, and
like they're on the roadhouse.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know how he finds them, but
Yeah,
Right.
it's he just checked her
it's a
Facebook.
Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
Like how did he?
Yeah.
He's probably been home for like weeks. He's like,
Yeah, he's like,
"Where's
"Where the
my
fuck is
wife?" And
Dottie?
her parents are like, she was in Chicago. She might
Yeah.
be somewhere. I don't know. You're gonna have to write
Yeah.
to the baseball league. Oh, that's gonna take a couple weeks to figure out where she is.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't write.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a famous scene then where they go out to his car, and they're packing up, and all the girls are going into the bus.
To
They're
head
getting
to
ready
their
for-
next city.
They're-
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
going for their like final game or something. Or maybe they're even
Yeah,
they
it's the
already in
World
the World
Series.
Series?
Yeah, it's the World
Come
Series
on.
game
They're ready for the World Series now because
Wow.
they've done so well.
against
she's-
Racing.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going home with my husband. I got what I want. He's back home. He's
Oh,
alive.
Come on. girl.
And Jimmy comes up to her and is just like, "Come on, you're amazing at baseball. Come play, and like you gotta do this. You gotta believe in yourself. Gotta keep going." And
Yeah, he does say. He says he's like, "You're quitting," and then she's like,
Yeah.
she's like, "Maybe I am. Maybe it just got too hard." And he's just like, "It's supposed to be hard.
yeah,
Like everything worth doing is," sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's a very inspirational speech.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But she leaves regardless
Ugh.
with Bobby.
Mhm.
Bob
Yeah.
wasn't even like, "Hey, babe, maybe
Yeah.
do that thing you like doing."
No, he's just like, "I'm here. We're gonna go make babies now."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's not a dick.
He's very sweet. He's
Yeah.
very sweet, actually, and he doesn't hold her back. She just literally is like, "I'm so happy to have my husband, and we're gonna go back home together."
Yeah.
Because I mean, she's so excited to see him.
Yeah.
They haven't seen each other for how long, and she thought he was
Right.
dead. So
Right.
yeah, her love
and no
is what's
men
drawing
on
her to
tour,
him.
so they need to get
No.
home to their bed,
Right?
So they can,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, yeah. Get it on. Yeah. So then I think it cuts to the game.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
They do skip ahead. Like they're on the World Series. So the World Series and playoff baseball games are always 7 games. So it's kind of a bit of a montage.
I didn't care about that.
where they go to game 7, right? So game 7 is not always played, only if like you split the games leading up to them. So they're in game 7 in Racine.
The Peaches and the Bells.
Yeah. And I think it's Ellen Sue. Not Ellen Sue, sorry. One of the other players is taking over being catcher, which is what Dottie's been playing. And they're, Jimmy gives this great speech in the locker room about, the final game. They go out and they're getting ready to play. And then he's walking by the catcher and he's like, just tell me if Ellen Sue, who's the pitcher now, is like getting tired out there. Like, you need to be honest with me. And then the catcher comes up, takes off their mask, and it's Dottie.
Dottie's there.
She's back.
Okay.
So she did come back to the game.
So
yes.
She just went home real quick,
And-
did the thing, came back. She's ready to go.
She's now a couple weeks pregnant. No.
No sliding.
But
she reveals they got halfway to Oregon in the car and she realized she had to finish the season. So they came back.
Yeah.
Bob's in the crowd and he's all like, "That's my wife,"
Yay.
cheering her
Yeah.
on.
Aw.
It's really sweet.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had a few quickies in the car.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with his bum foot,
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
don't need that. That's not
I
that.
mean-
It's fine.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
unless you're into toe stuff. Okay.
Okay.
He has a whole other foot, Will.
That's true. But you need the balance of the other one, I don't know.
So
Okay,
on the other
Will.
team, is Kit as
Yeah.
the pitcher,
Mhm.
and she's doing,
Exciting.
all right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, her confidence can get to her as we see in earlier games and whatnot. So it's tricky, like, and there she is up against her sister now, who she's had this big fight with and everything,
Yeah.
So yeah, the game continues, and you think that
What?
Tom Hanks is very excited. Jimmy's like, "We're gonna win," and everything's going well.
Yeah.
But then I think it's Kit who actually does the final hit.
Yeah, so basically, like, it's like neck and neck the whole game,
Yeah.
and you kind of get this thought that maybe Dottie's going to help Kit out in her
Right.
final, because Kit's up at bat, and basically, if Kit can get a run in, so there's a person on third base, and if Kit can get that run in, if Kit can get a run herself, like, they'll win the game, because basically, like, there's enough people on base that they would win the game if she got a good hit. So you get this idea. You get this thought that maybe
Kit's
Dottie's going to
batting
help
now,
Kit
or
out.
she's pitching.
But
Yeah, Kit's
So-
batting. No, she's batting.
She's batting now.
Yeah. She's at the bottom of the lineup because pitchers are generally not good batters and they're usually the last to bat.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I think Dottie actually gives a signal like to do a high ball.
Well, yeah, she calls time. She goes
Yeah.
out to the mound, and
They do like a timeout.
when I first watched this, I was like, "Oh, Dottie's going to maybe help her sister out. Like, maybe this is her helping out," but she doesn't. She's like,
She does
no.
the opposite.
She says like, "Throw them high and fast." She
Yeah.
always chases them. She can't.
hit him.
She can't hit
She
them.
can't hit him.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then she hits it.
she hits it.
Shit.
And real good.
Real good
She
hit.
hits it.
Deep into like left field or right field, whatever field. And
Whatever
I
field.
think it's like, the Peaches are up one run. So she hits it. Someone who's already on base comes in, ties it up with the run, and
Oh,
Kit is
Ooh.
rounding third, and then they throw the ball to Dottie's, who's the catcher. And basically, if you don't know this, Alenka, if you
Back to me.
run and hit the catcher, like tackle the catcher, and the catcher drops the ball, that run counts. You count that run. So that's what happens. Kit and Dottie collide at home base. Kit
Yeah.
smashes into her.
Oh.
Dottie
Complete.
falls, and the ball rolls out of her hand.
Oh.
Kit gets the
Oh.
the winning run.
That
The
is
winning of the World
sickening.
Series.
Yeah.
Come on.
So
And-
dramatic.
Love that.
And
Yes.
she did it on her own. Like,
Yeah.
Dottie didn't help her at all. Like, Dottie
Right.
tried to
Dottie
fuck her.
trying to,
Sabotage. Yeah.
her. Yeah. Yes.
Sickening.
Yeah, totally. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
then I think, is that when it cuts back to them as old people?
Well, they so
There's
they
like a
win. There's a
celebration.
celebration. Dottie's going back home, and her and her sister have this moment.
Yeah.
Her and her sister have this moment where they hug, and she cries because Kit's
Okay.
like, you're going,
Mhm.
you're
You make
going, and now
amends.
I really want you to stay. Finally,
There's tender moments.
yeah, because
I'm skipping over.
we find out like Harvey is not going to close the league down. He had said he was going to close the league down, but Ira Lowenstein is like, I want to keep it running. And I think in real life, the league ran for about 5 years. Even after the men came back, the league kept running.
Yeah.
But, once the men came back, it was supposed to be like, you need to go back home, women,
Right,
sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But Kit and Dottie have this like moment, and it's tender, and it's like they're never going to see each other again, which is not true. But like she like is leaving to go back home, and Kit's staying, and playing next season is probably going to stay in the city and find jobs like all the other women on the team. And so they have this great moment, and and then it cuts back to we're back to the baseball field where this Hall of Fame celebration is, and we're back to Dottie, and she's like looking over. And we're introduced to the whole cast of characters again, but as old
Older
ladies.
people.
Yeah.
Stop! And they
And
cast the whole older version of them, or is it a makeup?
Yeah.
Stop!
No, like
That's so
I thought it
cool.
was makeup for a couple of the characters, but it's not. It's all just an older cast of women,
Fucking sick.
and they all kind of embody the characters and whatnot in their little one-liners that they say. Yeah, which is so cute. Yeah.
Oh, one thing we should say. So before they cut back to present day, Dottie and Jimmy have this moment. Dottie introduces Jimmy to Bob, and Bob's like a big fan of Jimmy Dugan.
Oh, right.
And then they have this moment where like Jimmy talks about how he turned down like a job managing like a men's baseball team to stay and keep coaching the Peaches. And before they get on the bus, she gets in her car, and before all the team gets on the bus, you hear the song. They actually
they
came
have
up with a song
Okay.
for the league.
I don't know how the song goes,
We
but
are
it's
the ladies of the All-American League. We come from places
Oh,
far
you
and
know it.
wide. We've got Canadians, Polish ones, and I forget. It's like there's so
wow,
many.
you know a lot more than I do.
I mean, I did just watch this movie a few days ago, so
Yes.
it got stuck in my
Awesome.
head. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And there's a cute little moment because Tom Hanks' character Jimmy like really admires Dottie. Like you can just tell. And so whenever Bob is around, he's like, oh, that's her man, So there's like this like immediate respect, which is such a shift in character from his like I don't care about anybody. So he has such a change of heart and a change in character, and also a change in status as well, because he's just like, oh, it's just so nice to meet you, and you got a real great lady there, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Shaking his hand constantly, and it's really funny.
I like that.
Yeah,
I want to see T. Hanks like
So
that.
also T. Hanks, yeah.
Honks.
Present day, we're now at the part when movies now are getting so old that present day is also old. In 1992, present day, you're like, this is back in time. This is not present day anymore. But present day, they're walking through like this museum of all pictures of themselves, and it's kind of like to honor the Women's Baseball League. There's also in the regular Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame, the men's part of it. There's a big picture of Jimmy because he passed away in I guess it would probably have been like a few years just before that scene, like 1988 or something. He's passed away. So we don't get old Tom Hanks.
No.
And then they're
probably drank himself to death.
Probably,
most likely.
Yeah.
And so they're looking at all these old pictures, and she's like, seeing old pictures of herself, and then you turn and you see Kit, old Kit with her family. She has this big family. Yeah, and it is this moment where you're like, they see each other and they embrace, and you're like, did you not see each other since 1943?
Yeah. Maybe not.
Don't you guys see each other every Christmas and Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Well, wait, where is Dottie
it's a nice
living?
one.
And then, in what states do you think they resided in?
I mean, probably back where the dairy farm
Yeah, in like Oregon or whatever.
Oregon, yeah.
But I will say, like, in the opening of the movie, like her daughter is there and is like going to drive her to the bus station to get the bus to this thing.
Mhm.
And her daughter's like, are you going to see Aunt Kit? Like,
Mhm.
they know who Aunt Kit is. Like, they
Yeah.
haven't seen, but like, it's still this ending scene makes it feel like they haven't seen each other since 43.
Near the beginning of the film, her like grandsons are playing like basketball or something, I think, in the driveway. And she's like, be nice to your younger brother or something like that.
Oh,
Like, give him a
It's just-
shot, give him a chance to play.
give him a chance to play. Kind of, she's
Right.
remembering how mean she was to her younger
Mhm.
sister back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's a cute. Yeah.
Sibling movie.
Yeah. We also see, like, I don't know, maybe it's just because David Strathairn always looks so old to me, but like, we also see Mr. Lowenstein, old Mr. Lowenstein.
Right,
Because they're like, oh, Mr. Lowenstein, you should cut the ribbon on the museum exhibit because you're the one who kept the league running all those years. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this guy looks the same age as all these women. But when you see David Strathairn, you're kind of like, he's got to be 20
Right.
years older than all these,
Yeah, how
these
did he
ladies
live?
playing baseball.
Yeah.
You just got
And
into
you also
essential
see
oils.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good skincare routine.
You also see the little boy grown up, Stillwell or whatever the kid.
Right.
Yeah, because we
He's an
find
adult.
out Evelyn passed away. Evelyn passed away,
Mhm.
so he
His
he
mom.
came for her,
Yeah.
and he goes like, "Do you remember me, Dottie? You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose."
Ew. What a
'Cause that's what he
Yeah.
said.
loser.
Yeah. And then they all sing this song again.
Yeah, I think
All the
old
little
Ellen Sue
ladies.
stands up
Oh.
and starts the song. Yeah,
So cute.
It's one of those Hollywood feel good movie.
Oh, we also find out
Moments.
Bob passed away probably like that year.
Oh, come on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. All the
Great.
men are died off. It's only
Pretty
the
much.
women.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
ladies now. Just the
Yeah.
ladies.
Yeah.
Let's sing our old lady song. Ugh, so cute.
and they all like gather and sing, and then it's kind of like they're all gathered together, and then it kind of zooms in and then comes back out, and it's like their younger versions, like their baseball team picture in the same kind of
yeah.
order of people. And then it's credits roll over top of, and this is what I thought was kind of dumb. If credits roll over top of old timey photos of like the cast, and you're like, why don't they
Yeah.
roll credits over photos of the league unless there's none? Like,
Mhm.
you'd think that they would
Huh?
roll
What do
over
you
like
mean?
actual league photos. Well, like photos of the actual
Oh.
women's baseball league from the 40s, but it's actually just black and white photos of like Tom Hanks and Gina Davis.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's like
it was just
still the
like a
characters
hoax
in the movie.
whole time. Never
Yeah.
actually did happen.
Mhm.
It's all just
Yeah,
fantasy.
the greatest myth of all time was their
Yeah.
women's baseball.
Yeah.
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 I've heard that like the injuries and stuff during the making of that movie were real. Like they
Mm.
had to slide in, into the base so many times, so many takes.
In short skirts.
And
yeah.
they're wearing
Oh.
short skirts. So they literally rip their skin open, like on their
Yeah.
thighs and butts and stuff.
There's a shot, and it's kind of like part of the montage where like, the team medic or whatever is helping one of the players, and she's got this gigantic purple bruise on like her
yeah.
ass, and like she's like crying,
it's
and Jimmy's
real.
like holding her hair, sort of thing.
Oh,
But yeah, I think it looks pretty damn real.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
real, I think. It's
damn.
Mhm.
They did it hard in the 90s,
Mhm.
eh? She.
crazy. Yeah.
Ah,
And I
No
read that
rules.
like that scene where Gina Davis does the splits. She had a stunt double do the
Right.
catching it while sliding into the splits, but she actually could do the splits and did the like look back part. So
ooh.
she could do some of it, but
She
she
did
didn't
a
do the
little bit.
slide into it.
Yeah, she's a
Yeah.
real Jackie
Cool.
Chan when it comes to stunts.
Oh, there's
yeah.
also like an awesome scene where there's a stunt double who was trying to do it and couldn't with catching a ball behind her back, and Gina
Yeah.
did it in one take. She just went phew, and she caught the ball behind her
Come
back, like with
on.
her glove. Yeah.
She's a
Do you love it
natural.
when I do like physical things on a podcast?
Yeah, the best. The best.
Perfect.
Like, all these. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a league of their own, Olenka.
Damn, I like it. This is
Mhm.
like a yummy kind of like makes me feel happy, exciting film.
Yeah.
It is a feel good film.
Yeah, definitely a feel good Hollywood movie kind of thing with some cute, comedic moments and great characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was at Randolph, I went to Randolph Academy back in the day with Karen Scobie. We actually wanted to do like a musical of A League of Their Own.
Oh my
and
God.
we were like pressuring our directors to like write a musical for us, because we were like,
Why
as
not?
you said, other people have told me I look like Gina Davis before too. I'm like, I should play Dottie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Karen would be a great kid too.
Oh my God.
Oh,
yes.
man.
But I actually read that like just a few years ago, Jason Robert Brown, who's a famous musical composer, was creating a score for a musical, A League of Their Own.
Ooh.
Now, I don't know what's happened with that, if it's gone anywhere, because it's really hard to make a musical on Broadway for it to actually take off. But there's just so many like kitschy characters in it.
Yes.
in the movie.
We got to start a hashtag, Hilary for Dottie. That's the hashtag we're going to start for this Broadway musical.
Cast me.
Oh my
Make
God.
it their own, the musical.
It would be,
Oh,
people
yeah.
would be, what is it, gobsmacked, jaw dropped at the resemblance. Like they'll just be like, okay, I'm sold. Gina Davis just like, poof, time, machine.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that'd be fun. I'd have to grow a few inches, but yeah.
Oh.
She's awesome.
Well, dang.
Alenka,
Talk to me.
I'm trying to figure out a rating system for this movie.
What kind of
What's a
dumb
good
rating system?
How-
you have?
I don't know what kind of. It's hard to think of a dumb one, but I don't know how many big old baseball tears do you give this movie?
Ooh. Okay, you know what? This is like, I don't think I had any qualms with this movie, like at all. Like and it might just be because of the genuine like funness of it, that maybe all the other stuff I'm just like, no, it doesn't matter. It's just so fun. So it's like, like 10 out of 10 big old sloppy baseball tears that are like not supposed to happen, but they happen.
Ooh,
Wow.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 for
like
League of Their Own.
it just sounds so
Nice.
enjoyable and fun, and the spicy bits of the highlights, I guess, of the baseball that you want. That the rest is like boring, but they
Yeah.
cut that shit out.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
There's no,
So I'm sold.
watching the player run back and forth, trying to steal third and going back to seconds, trying to steal third, going back. There's none of that. You don't see it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's
Also, the cast,
all the boring
I'm
parts.
pleasantly surprised by this. Like I'm compelled to watch it just to see Madonna and Rosie O'Donnell.
Rose,
They're great. They're fantastic
Mhm.
in it. Yeah.
they definitely
I
bring
mean,
a lot of comedic relief.
Send me
Mhm.
the link. I'll watch it. Unless it's on Netflix.
I will. I'll send you the link, Alenka.
Yeah, you say that.
I always
Alenka?
do. Alenka, yeah. Send the Alenka.
Haha. Very funny.
Well, Hilary, thank you for coming on tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
If our listeners want to see some of your stuff or follow you or find out what you're up to, where can they do that?
Oh, they can definitely just Google my name,
Stop.
hilaryjunehart.ca.
Stop.
And I've got a website and there's videos, and I have a whole page about Cackle Comedy Productions.
Yes.
You can see, I think there's about 24 shorts out there. Some of them have been in festivals, and some of them have just a few views.
Isn't that the way, though?
Yeah.
Some of them are like
It's just the
thousands
way.
of views, and some of them just like one
Just a
thumbs up,
couple.
That's how it goes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fickle
So you
nature
can-
of the audience.
Yeah. Yeah. So check it out.
Yes, check
And
it
give
out.
them
Give it all
thumbs
the
up.
thumbs up. Give them all the views. Yeah, many thumbs up.
Yes.
As many thumbs up as you can.
Mm.
And if you want to give us a thumbs up as well, you can follow us on Instagram at Haven't Seen a Podcast, and on Facebook and at Haven't_seen_it on Twitter. You can also go to our website, haven'tseenapodcast.com. there's the giant list of movies Alenka hasn't seen on that site. It's pretty big. Alenka can Hilary can attest to that. Leave us a review on iTunes. Apparently that helps. It really helps to leave reviews and ratings.
Give it a shot. Try it. You might like it.
Apparently bookmarking our posts on Instagram is the new algorithm. You want to bookmark our posts. So if you want us to be out there on Instagram, bookmark us, apparently.
I didn't know that.
Apparently. It's changing all the time.
Me neither.
And big announcement. Perfect. You heard it. You heard it before. You heard it 2 weeks ago. You heard it last week. We are doing a live stream Friday, March 19th. 7:30 p.m.
baby.
Tune in. We'll be having a lot of fun with Alenka. Details soon.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's awesome.
We need to drop that special little. We got something to do for the people that tune in, so maybe tune in. I don't know if Will wants to talk about it yet, but I'm sure he'll talk about it soon.
Well, tune in, and you might get some little special. Let's say that's going to be announced next week, I think.
Okay. Lovely. I like our no plan.
Yeah.
Guys, on that note, thank you so much for always watching, for tuning in, for listening on the Spotify or whatever. This has been a league of their own, my own, and in my own words, be nice to your siblings because one day they're going to beat you.